another question for you, because I never see you guys like in action, because you guys interview people, but like I love to see how you guys are interviewed together about your dynamics. So when you found out you're pregnant, did you ever feel fear of telling your mom, or did it feel like my mom would give me the best advice?
Fear? No. I think people think that I'm like 19, 20. And I'm not. Like,
right.
someone the other day asked her, did you guys argue when she got pregnant? And I was like, how old do you think I am? We're not arguing that I'm getting pregnant.
No.
I'm not like saying, is it okay? I'm saying this is what's happening, you know? But I think that people think that I'm like 19, 20, and I'm not going to say my age.
Yeah, but we're not
a lady
that,
never
okay?
tells. But I don't know why. And I think that's stemming from you and how you are, because you are very strong. I will say that. You are very... like that face right there, like you know, like
right
that
there.
one. You seen it? So she gives that off as like a mama bear, and so then I think it gets like, oh, she's young. I'm not, you know what I mean? So no, there was no fear.
I think the world knows that I am very strong and protective of my kids, because that's what they've seen on TV. You know, like they see me going to bat and for my kids, because people have weaponized, especially her, against me, you know, because they know that my kids are going to be a trigger. I don't care if Shaw was 55 and I'm 70, whatever, right? It's like, I think that's why they think you're younger than what you are, because they're like, oh, on Basketball Wives, she's fucking going in on somebody about bringing up her daughter. But it's, whether I'm a grandmother now, whatever age she is, that's always my job as her mom. Like, naturally, when you have kids, you're gonna always protect them. That's how it should be. For sure. So I think that's why people think you're younger, because they're like, oh, she's wilding out on the show, like having an argument with somebody about Shaniece, you know. So maybe that's like where it comes from.
For sure. No, I
I'm
get
glad
it
you
all the
clarified
time.
that, though.
But
that
it's
you're
true.
Like seasoned enough to make choices,
and
you know, and have a child, you know, and in whatever era you're in right now, which is cool. I love that. I was more into like the perspective of, not that you asked her for permission, can I have this baby, but more like, is she being supportive towards the idea of like, I'm ready to be a mom. Do you think that for me?
Absolutely.
You know, in that era.
No, I mean, it was more so like, I hope my mom is happy.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope. I guess like a slight approval. Like
we all search for it.
You search for it from your parents more so, and I think that your parents, they are what build you up, like your identity, the choices that you make, how you act, you know, all of your lessons, your foundation, your how confident you are. I think that all stems from your parents growing up. So did I want that, like, okay, this is what we're doing? And it surpassed my expectations from both my parents, actually, my dad too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he was like, so I was like, wow, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
You know, that like relief of like, okay, everyone's happy. We're doing this
against the world and what they're gonna say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. So I did find that support. They gave me more support than I had given myself. So
yeah. Well, I think it was a tough time for her too, you know, and we talked about this. You know, it was like, okay, I'm going to have, you know, first of all, to decide that you're going to bring a child into the world is a huge decision, right? Absolutely. And so that was a big decision for her from the beginning, right? And then she hid it for so long. Like, she was, not that you were terrified, but we knew it was going to be some shit publicly. We already get a lot. You know, you're on TV, you've done.
Which is why I ask these questions. It's not just a pregnancy. It's that it came with stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So, are those hard stuff something you're going to protect her from and say, I don't think it's a good idea, or it's, we're doing this and we're going to face the world together.
Right.
That's
that
number two.
Yeah. And it was definitely the second one where I knew she wanted to keep this. The baby, we didn't know what it was at the time, but I'm like, if this is what you want to do, then I'm gonna support you, you know. But it was definitely, you know, a little bit of a kind of a transition because, you know, like I said earlier, she was very protective. Not that she was hiding from the world, but Shaniece as you know, we've talked about this. Shaniece is like in her own bubble, you know, like she's a yogi, and she's kind of just not even just that. She's just not about the bullshit, you know, like
filters that and has created her own little sanctuary.
She has her own sanctuary. She's very protective of her energy. She's very protective of the people she has around her. She's not fake. Like there's nothing fake about her. Like she can't do the fake shit, you know.
I try so hard.
She can't, you know, like sometimes even with me on the show, she's like, wait, what? What you did?
What are you doing?
You know?
With who?
And you know how it is when you're shooting.
Yeah,
you
gotta
have
do certain things that you wouldn't want to do in real life, but here we are.
Yeah, you're dealing with friendships, dynamics, and it's going at the speed of lightning. So it's like you guys have to come together.
We made up it all in 1 week, okay? That's just how it goes on TV.
Exactly. But she's so like cut and dry with who she really is. She's like, yo, if I don't fuck with that person, I just don't, you know? So, but anyway, I know I went on a tangent, but you know, I was supported from the beginning. I'm like, you know what? This is a blessing. And obviously he has made my life.
I know.
He has made my life.
And it's just you're lit up like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
You didn't know what you wanted, what you needed in your life until that baby walked into your life. Because I have never seen you so excited. Because remember, I came into your life obviously a few years ago, but it hasn't been since Leo was a kid.
Right.
A little baby. So you holding that baby and just knowing what to do and just being, you know, all wrapped into it. It's nice to see your mom in that energy. Grandma.
And let me clarify though, but like the expectations was to have a family. Let me just clarify that. It wasn't like I was having a baby.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay.
That's not how it went down. The expectations was I'm ready to have a family, not just, you know, my child or be a single mom. So I would like to clarify that because that's not what it is.
Right.
You know, I'm glad that she said that for herself because you do go in with certain expectations, but everyone's are different. Some women are like, I never wanted to have a family. I just want to be a single mom.
Oh, yeah, no, my dream was always to have a family. The expectations of me having my child was to have a family.
Yeah.
Things change, you know what I mean? And that's where you get your support system from. And you just like get your head back in the game, you know? Like, it's just what it is. But I would like to clarify that. And by the way, anyone who has made that decision, like, this is what I'm going to do, I totally support that too. It's, you know, your own personal journey. That wasn't my desire, but it's just how it went down, you know? So I think that's...
Yeah. And those were my expectations too, like with Carl. My expectations were, and we were together almost 5 years engaged, was to have a family, was to get married. Obviously, we ended up separating right before the wedding. But because I've been through it and I've like lived it, I feel like I could give her the advice and the support because this is all new to her. You know, co-parenting with someone and just navigating that is sometimes difficult. But you're doing a phenomenal job.
Well, it wasn't fun when you were in New York. And Omaha. Let me go back to that. Don't leave me for 15 days.
You know, that's very inspiring because I think my biggest fear, you know, I'm married now, but, you know, we are trying to have a child. And my biggest fear is having the child that I so desire and it not working out with my husband has been one of my biggest fears because I was born into a family that were together and then they separated. And it felt hard because I had it all together and then didn't. So I didn't know I had to pick sides and all that stuff. So when you guys say there's life after whatever ends up happening is inspiring to me because it's like facing fears head on and being like there's life after whatever happens. Don't worry about it. Do it with the best intentions. And if it doesn't work out and you guys don't stay together, it doesn't mean that, you know, you're not a great mom. It doesn't mean that you guys can't co-parent. It doesn't mean that you can't live on and do your life. Right. That's really inspiring to me because it's actually one of the fears that I have to face.
So that was my biggest fear. One, to be a single parent. Two, obviously to not have resources. That's everyone's biggest fear, right?
Exactly.
Nobody wants to be broke.
No, you know what I mean?
Nobody
Two biggest fears. And I never wanted to be a single mom, which is why the dream was family and this and this and that, because I was raised by a single mom. And then my mom had another, my brother, and was also back to being a single mom. If someone would have told me, like, you're going to be a single mom, I would have been like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to live life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not, but obviously God has bigger plans. And it's like, what am I going to do? Stick them back in my vajayjay?
No, you got to write it.
We got to write it out.
Right.
So it is what it is, you know? So,
do you still have, because, you know, you end up wanting family, end up, like, loving people.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still love there, you know, between you and the game? Like, I love you for being the father of my child, or I love you because there was once love there, and I will always have love for you. Like, she
both.
is very, okay.
We'll go with both.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll go
Because
with
she's
both.
like that with Carl, too. She'll be like, I will always love him as a person, as a friend, as the father of my child.
Yeah.
What once was, isn't, but I love him for that.
No, you surrender to reality, and it is what it is. But no, both of those things.
Yeah.
So I'm another question. Because you're very
Girl,
beautiful.
you interviewing us.
I know. That's why
I love it.
I think you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Like, I don't even know how, you know, you can pass all this on. But do you ever feel like it's ever like they want to hold on in some way because you are like a really good prize? Or do you think that he surrendered to it too? Or is he like just... Oh, like maybe sometimes like
You're gonna have to ask him that.
Okay. Because I'm always so curious. I'm like, she's so beautiful. I would probably still wanna like. You're beautiful, okay? And that's just what it is.
Let's just say, I'm just gonna say this. I've only had one guy since my time of starting to date that has gotten away. One. And it's not him.
Okay. All right. I just want you to know you're one hell of a package. I see you in every like in her yogi stage, in her mom era, in her podcast, beautiful, put together, and it's you're gonna find like the best because she is the total package.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just from your mouth to God's ears.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000. This right here is like you guys are very beautiful together. Women with substance, women with good energy, good intentions. That's hard to find.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions
That's why I'm saying
about me.
And that's why I'm putting it out there.
But sometimes she'll DM me and she'll be like, "Oh no, like
Ev, what the hell? Why they got it all wrong?"
she'll be like she'll be like ready to argue with somebody online."
It's actually funny after a while to me.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm
You
like,
just gotta let
really?
it go.
She's a racist. Her kids are black. Like,
Right.
make it make sense.
No.
Make it make sense.
Did you see this one?
It's
No,
funny.
this was the latest one. That the game ran a train on me and Shaw.
Oh,
Did
I've
you
heard
see
that
that?
one? That he was with you and then with her.
Yes.
I was like,
Like,
wow,
and
guys.
what?
We're
I'm
getting
like-
very creative here.
No, but you know
And
what?
gross.
It's very. It's so
Why?
gross. Yeah, I thought, but you have to. It does become comical because you're
does.
like, you guys literally say anything, or if somebody says it, you believe it because there's 400,000 views on something on YouTube, you know,
Right.
or wherever it's at. So
just to clarify, the game has never been your boyfriend.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
guys,
It wasn't
so we-
boyfriend. It was a threesome.
Oh,
we had a threesome.
So the game has never had a threesome with Evelyn and Shaniece at the same time. There's never been a past relationship at the same time.
Never.
Okay, this isn't like they're tag teaming and then just passing it on.
No, that's weird.
Okay,
guys.
that is very weird. Wait, have you guys ever dated the same guy?
No, that's weird too.
No.
There's boundaries, guys.
We've had guys who've been in both DMs.
yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And I've asked one before. I was like, "Did you know that was my mom?" Because I kind of want to know. Are you gross, or did you not
Are you
know?
gross or you're doing this
Yeah,
on
or did you
purpose?
not know? You know. But he said he didn't. We'll take that with a grain of salt.
Right.
do you not know, right?
yeah, right.
It's like, do you have TV?
Do you have TV? But we have had that, but no, we have never dated the same guy.
We don't have the same type.
I don't know what my type is.
I don't know what your type is either, to be honest.
You have a little bit of everything.
Would you consider that a hoe? Is that a hoe?
No, I say you have options. That's what I say. I'm the same way. I feel like I go off a vibe.
Yeah.
vibes.
I go off of that.
know,
Thank
Yep.
you so much for tuning in to another episode of Drop the Low. Love you and stay tuned.